Well, hello, Cabrini, and welcome to another episode of LOQation, Cabrini College's weekly news program. I'm Jenna Rose DiGiacomo.
And I'm Sean Ostrowski. Here's your news now.
It's the 113th year and the biggest Philadelphia auto show yet. Located at the Philadelphia Convention Center, experience a walkthrough of a multitude of diverse cars, some even jaw-dropping, indoor ride experiences, and more. If interested, make sure to grab your ticket. Prices are $12 for 13 and up, $6 for children 7 through 12, and children 6 and younger are free. The last day is Sunday, February 16th. For more information, visit www.phillyautoshow.com. Well, get ready to throw on your skates once more. Capboard is hosting the second ice skating trip Saturday, February 15th. Vans leave after dinner at 6:30 and the cost is $3 per person. A great way to kick off the Valentine's Day weekend. Happy skating. Well, I think we can all say it was quite a winter wonderland this past weekend, and not just on Cabrini's campus. This storm was a record breaker for utility companies according to Radnor Patch. Last Wednesday evening, February 5th in Radnor, 70% of PECO electric customers were without power. At the same time, about 23% of Delaware County PECO customers were in the dark. A week later, all customers in Radnor had power back. Cabrini College faced the wrath of last week's ice storm. Let's see how the Cabrini community fared during this winter storm.
I have to admit myself, I was very unprepared for a total power outage. I sort of expected one, but I just had no guess that it would be of the duration it turned out to be. I think the students all reacted really well. They knew there wasn't anything that they could do to change it. They just had to wait. It is what it is kind of attitude. Our main concern, particularly in the first 24 hours, was being vigilant to the areas around campus that were most heavily treed and reporting back to facilities where we felt it was dangerous for anyone, students, faculty, or staff, to be out and about. A lot of branches that were just coming down quite suddenly, no crack, no forewarning. It would just land right in front of our officers while they were out patrolling campus. We had several come down right here, just missing parked cars. So we were constantly feeding that information back to facilities so that they could go and remove the obstruction, and again, just keep track of where people need to avoid. Our role in making the students feel safe and comfortable was probably a very secondary one. Res Life and their staff had the most direct contact with students throughout the multiple day event.
The power went out around 3 a.m. Wednesday morning, and it came back around 10 a.m. Saturday morning. We only had 3 buildings open. We had West Residence Hall, East Residence Hall, and Woodcrest open. The students that chose to stay watched movies, some studied, some just hung out with their friends, caught up on some schoolwork and read. The internet didn't work until Friday. The Wi-Fi was down. Cable TV was working the whole time.
During the snowstorm, I actually stayed in West Residence, where I live on campus. When the power went out, I think our group had probably the most fun of all the groups that would be together. We just played games and messed around the entire time in the dark. I mean, we still had a little bit of heat. We just got a bunch of people in a room and just played whatever games we had or found. It was fun.
So our part in keeping the information flow was putting out the text messages, working with marketing and communications to craft the longer messages that went on the college's main webpage, answering telephone calls, just a flood of phone calls throughout the day, mostly tapering off around the evening dinner hour, but then picked up again Thursday morning. And I'd say the majority of those were from people who were off campus, maybe graduate students, maybe parents. A lot of calls from parents who wanted to know, is the heat on in my student's residence hall? Should I come and get them right away, or are they okay? So we were doing a lot of reassuring of the parents to say, no, they're fine, they're fed, and they're warm, and they're okay for now. Stand by, we'll keep you updated.
I called my dad. My sister actually is also goes to Cabrini as well. So I called my dad and said, "Hey, we lost power. What's your plans for you and your sister?" Because I live in Jersey. We got all rain, so no ice at all. But he was just making sure that we were safe, make sure I had a place to go and stay warm. So
I don't think we were doing anything more than we do normally, which is really stay on top of our local TV stations who are constantly feeding updates about the storms as they progress. The college also has a subscription to a professional weather forecasting service that puts out as a storm is approaching, whether it's snow, ice, rain, thunderstorms in the spring and summertime. They will put out updates several times during the day. There's always one in the morning, one around 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and one later in the evening to let us know what's going to happen overnight.
The students that were displaced from the houses or from CAC and Xavier either chose to sleep with their friends, some went off campus. Some of the lounges in East Res and in Woodcrest were used as temporary spaces for students. I
actually found somewhere else to go. I went to a friend's grandparents' house, their apartment nearby. They actually had power, so we went there with just him and I. Other people went home and things like that, but they kind of strongly advised us not to stay on campus, so we left.
Of course, my staff has been here much longer than I have. I've only been here since last August. This was my first weather event that really impacted the campus. We've had delayed openings during January. We had a couple of one-day closings, but this is the first weather event that lasted more than 24 hours. So yes, now I'm much more prepared for the things that we can do very quickly just to make sure that we can keep up and running here in this wing of the mansion, because it's essential that we keep certain systems running so that we can get the information out to the campus.
And that was your trip around the block. So Nick, what's bumping in sports this week?
Well, Jen Rose, men's and women's basketball are on a roll. I got some news about an NFL prospect, and the Olympics opened up this weekend. So let me tell you all about it. Men's basketball kept their undefeated season going with a 103-96 victory over Cabrini University on Monday. Cavaliers are now one of 3 teams to remain undefeated in all divisions of collegiate basketball. Junior Vinny Walls led the Cavaliers with a career-high 34 points. This is a different outcome than what they expected from this game. Cabrini is the last-place team in the league and only has 1 win this season. The last time they played the Cavs dominated them with a 91-51 win. Maybe it was the long break that affected the Cavs. On the other hand, it could be the absence of Aaron Walton-Moss and A.J. Picard. It seems it's affecting the Cavaliers a little more than they expected. Luckily, Walton-Moss is practicing again, but still nursing his foot injury. He's only playing as needed, so he can be 100% for the CSAC playoffs. Also, Picard is getting his cast off soon, and with rehab, he should be ready for playoffs as well. The men will hit the road on Wednesday to face Centenary College. The game is set to start at 7 p.m. Women's basketball continued their winning streak with their 5th straight win, a dominating 83-43 win over Cedar Crest College on Monday. Annie Rivatuso led the Lady Cavs, posting her 4th double-double of the season, with 13 points and 10 rebounds. With this win, Lady Cavs remained tied with Immaculata University for the first place in the CSAC division. On Wednesday, the Blue and White will have an opportunity to take sole possession of first place. This could be the biggest game of the season for them, as they hit the road to take on Immaculata. In national sports, the NFL may get its first openly gay player, Michael Sam, All-American defensive end and SEC Defensive Player of the Year from University of Missouri. Sam is projected to be a top pick in the NFL draft, going anywhere from the 1st round to the 5th round. Will his sexual orientation affect his value in the draft? Tweet me your thoughts at LOQation News. The Winter Olympics opened up this weekend, and the anticipated repeat of American snowboarder Shaun White to win back-to-back gold medals didn't happen. In fact, White didn't even get a medal, finishing in 4th place. And that will do it for sports. Tune in next week for more national sports news, and as always, your Cabrini College sports. Now let's send it to Sean for your trip across the nation.
The U.S. government helped reach a major milestone earlier this week by expanding legal benefits to same-sex marriage. Human Rights Campaign, which advocates equality, told CNN this expansion is a landmark announcement that will change the lives of countless committed gays and lesbians for the better. This benefits how millions of Americans interact with the federal government, including bankruptcy cases, prison visitations, and survivor benefits for police officers and firefighters killed on the job. The Florida trial of a man being held for the murder of teenager Jordan Davis began Monday and is being compared to the trial of George Zimmerman killing Trayvon Martin. In Florida, this is considered a high-profile trial according to CNN. Allegedly, Michael Dunn shot and killed Jordan Davis 2 years ago for playing his music too loud. Dunn said he told a group of teens to turn down their music at a gas station. The teens then reached for a gun, and so Dunn began to open fire. When law enforcement searched the vehicle, no gun was found. Tweet us your thoughts about the case at LOQation News. With the passing of the wintry mix this past weekend, sometimes it feels like a non-stop snowstorm, but this is not the case. With the last wintry storm, the southern states were not prepared, but now with the early notification of this storm, southern states prepared themselves for the worst. Georgia is among one of the southern states to get hit the hardest this past year. The path of the storm is tracked to also hit the areas from Washington, D.C. through Boston. On another spectrum, California's year-long drought ended with an accumulation of 20 inches of rain this past weekend. California officials stated that this accumulation is only 20% of where the state should be by April 11th. Cabrini College's CAP board has a lot of fun weekend events planned for the upcoming months. Let's see what great trips they have planned for this semester.
This semester we are planning Baltimore, Sky Zone.
We just did Restaurant Week.
Yeah, we just had Restaurant Week. That was really successful.
Well, we live in the Great Lake tri-state area, like between Philadelphia, Delaware, like Baltimore's not even that far away. Just to get the student like a good perspective, because we live so close to such like a good populated area that we can like take them off campus and like show them like different areas, like just to have fun, because there's like there's a lot to do around here, so we like try and take them and give them as much fun as they can.
And like a lot of students don't have cars, so like
Yeah.
since we provide transportation, it's really easy to get them to and from, and it gives them an opportunity to do stuff not on campus. We do lots of discounted rates for students. I think the Baltimore trip is $10 or $15.
Yeah, versus like paying full price because
The aquarium's normally like $36 per person, so you guys get a really good rate. It's March 15th, and we plan on, like, we're taking just the Cabrini little vans down, and you guys, 30 people are going to the aquarium, and then 10 people get to go and just
hang out in the harbor.
hang around
I mean, if you go to the
Baltimore,
aquarium,
chill.
you can also chill in the
Yeah,
harbor
you
too.
get the option to do both. Like,
But we might be doing like a scavenger hunt while you're there, so that like the people that are either in an aquarium or on just in the harbor, like just to add something fun, add something different. We're trying to put together a scavenger hunt for like Baltimore's in the harbor,
Okay.
something like that. It's a great opportunity to see something that you might haven't seen before, or go somewhere where you haven't seen before. Like we went to New York last semester for a Broadway trip. I mean, some students may have never been to Broadway or to New York, so they got to go see New York for like the first time. Like I was one of those people.
definitely like Capboard's Facebook page.
Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, we post a lot within the social media, like to advertise for not only our off-campus, but our on-campus events too. Also, we put ads up. Everybody works really hard on them in this office.
You put them everywhere.
And so just keep an eye out for like bulletin boards and stuff around campus.
I mean, we do a lot of like different events. Like we do a lot of trips. We do a lot of in-house stuff. There's other committees on Capboard that do big events, small events, different kinds of events. Like Epic's coming up in a couple like months, and that's a really big like week-long events that we like all help out with. So it's like we try and get as much people for that. So.
Be sure to stay up to date with all the off-campus events sponsored by Capboard. Now, back to the news desk.
That was your trip across the nation. So Val, what's poppin' in entertainment?
Well, sadly, Shirley Temple passed away, and there's a new show spin-off, but let me tell you more about it. Shirley Temple Black passed away on Monday, January 10th at her home in Woodside, California. The curly-haired, bubbly child star died at the age of 85. Temple was an idol to many. She is known for her signature song, On the Good Ship Lollipop, which was in the film Bright Eyes, released in the 1930s. Shirley Temple's death has touched the hearts of many and will forever be remembered. Actress Greta Gerwig has been cast to be the leading role of the How I Met Your Mother spin-off, How I Met Your Dad. Gerwig will be playing Sally, who will share her experiences of bad dates and crazy shenanigans with her group of friends. Sources have said if How I Met Your Dad is picked up by CBS, the series will shoot in New York. How do you feel about this potential spin-off? Tweet us at LOQation News. Now let's check in with Jenna Rose for your news around the world.
Well, poof, I'm back in the studio, but it's time for the Around the World news. So, before going into hiding from the Nazis, Anne Frank gave a tea set, a book, and a tin of marbles to her friend for safekeeping. Her marbles were refound and will be going on display at a World War II exhibition, according to the New York Times, in Rotterdam, the largest city in the Netherlands. Anne's friend was supposed to keep them safe until Anne returned, but she never did. Anne passed away from typhus just before the concentration camps were freed. The marbles are seen as quite a treasure, and children work very hard to get them, according to Teresian da Silva, head of collections at the Anne Frank Museum. The Russian figure skating team took gold this past Sunday as the host of the Winter Olympics. This was a great comeback to the beginning of the Games due to the fact they never achieved gold at the Vancouver Olympics. A new team figure skating event that pairs technique and art, two things that Russia holds dear to their heart, according to the New York Times. They're hoping to succeed again in pair skating due to the team having two world champion skatings together. It's been quite a mix whether or not students are watching or are not watching the Olympics. According to students, some either have been too busy or others are more than eager to continue watching it. Good luck to all the athletes. Thanks for catching up with us this week. For LOQation Weekly News, I'm Jenna Rose DiGiacomo.
And I'm Sean Ostrowski. Stay up to date throughout the week by following us on our social media platform. Simply search LOQation News. Have a great week, Cabrini.